Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Pulp. I'm your host, Bob.
And I'm Maddie.
And today we welcome back Jason to the studio, just in time for a cold weather episode. Welcome back, Jason.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob and Maddie. Glad to be here.
Excellent. Got a lot to cover, from staying safe this winter to clearing up some end-of-year questions that always seem to pop up. Let's get into it.
Alrighty.
So our first segment is going to be about winter and cold weather safety. Got some discussion points to go through with Jason here. Jason, why don't you start off talking about some of the cold weather hazards and tips to avoid them?
All right. Well, thank you, Bob. Starting off, the big point to remember going into the winter is, of course, more than any other season, it has to be under preparation. Looking as far ahead as you possibly can, paying attention to the weatherman, and it's more into the emergency preparedness between, we'll call it the fourth quarter, first quarter of 2026. That's where you really have the larger storms that are impactful into set regions. And we do get quite a bit of notification that comes up. You usually get about 2-3 days on those severe winter storm warnings that come through, or ice storms. Most of that stuff doesn't sneak up on you. It's more of advance warning or the potentials that'll come on through. So pay attention more onto those news, and also on the safety brief that we provide every day that comes through, generally in the early parts of the week. If there are something that's regional, I would say that would be impacting the East Coast, or say Hazelton, or even in the state of Wisconsin, generally will drop some type of notification to be on the lookout, potential ice or severe storm warnings, because that's going to go and impact logistics and, of course, many of our finishing supplies getting to our customer, as well as raw materials and rail travel. So it's impactful. So it just, once again, winter is a great time to get into the habit of looking forward and preparedness, staying ahead of the game, putting a plan A, plan B ahead. And
start stocking up on that rock salt now.
Yes.
You don't want to go shopping for it when we're only 3 days away from an ice storm and it's sold out everywhere.
I was going to say, isn't it milk and bread that everybody goes and sells out in the stores?
Yeah, I guess everybody likes to make French toast when there's a big snowstorm. I don't know.
Yes, and toilet paper, the number one hoarded item.
Very true. Well, what about when it comes to vehicles or even equipment in the workplace? I mean, it can get cold out near the dock doors, out in forklifts around.
Absolutely. And once again, the cold is hard on everything, on people, equipment, and facilities. So that's where, once again, preparation going into the cold weather months and ensuring that the vehicles are running in top shape, inspecting those tires, making sure that they're good on your personal vehicle, as well as our lift trucks and doors. That kind of rolls over into our housekeeping and the preparation before the snow flies, ensuring that we know where our snow is going to get moved in our parking lots, making sure we have that rock salt available and already stockpiled, so that when the snow comes on board, we already know where we're going to dispense it, who's going to do it, when is it going to get performed, and so that we can go and meet the expectations for both our employees and overall our customers. Because once again, professionals play their A game, and they look like they know they have a plan, and we like to go and demonstrate that we're ahead of the ball, ahead of the game all the time.
Elaborating on that from a housekeeping perspective, right? I know I've slipped in my own house because somebody's tracked some snow or ice in and doesn't get wiped up afterwards. I mean, that's true of anywhere we go. Any tips along those lines?
Once again, it's in that preparation and making sure that those walks are cleared, well salted, because the less snow that you get on your boots or onto your shoes entering into the facility, the less that's going to actually melt and end up on the floor, and more that has to go and get squeegeed. But just keeping things dry, keeping awareness into those different pedestrian areas, and having a good overall plan.
And for lack of a better term, cold weather PPE, staying safe when doing things like hanging lights, shoveling.
Yes.
Anything along those lines?
Once again, you want to go and make sure that solid surfaces, working teams. That you don't want to go and be out there by yourself. And usually, if it's a good plan, both people are going to agree to it. And so, many times, if it's maybe okay to you, but if somebody's making a challenge to it, maybe we need to slow down and listen. That it might not be a good idea. Or why don't we hang those lights before the snow falls, before you have 2 feet, and then you have to figure out, is that bush there or is that hole there? Because if you can't see it, it still will impact you.
Everybody in Wisconsin, if they didn't take advantage of this last weekend, they might regret it.
Yeah, I
I
think
got
this weekend's supposed to be okay. Highs in the
all
mid
right.
low
Yes.
40s, but the
It's
last
snowing
chance.
outside right now.
It is. It was. We were going to try to get a video of it to be like right on topic with our episode today.
Absolutely.
All right. So you've given us some really good tips for this. Would be the 3rd season now. I think that we're having you on for. Are there, if there's a top 3 for winter, what would they be?
Preparation. Once again, look out as far as you possibly can, and plan for it, ensuring that your vehicles, that your equipment, and of course your house and everything is ready for it. And, it's not, you don't want to go and worry about your filters or keeping your exhaust ports for like your dryer or for your furnace. In January, that's not the time to worry about it. It should be cleared and have a plan beforehand, as well as when you're out and about, dressing in layers, especially coming to work. That heavy coat is wonderful, but also it's big and bulky, and it's not very conducive in the workplace. So dressing in layers so that you can go and remove those layers and keep your clothing, not say tight, but so that it's not loose and propose a snag hazard with your equipment in and around. And also allow for more time. Just a good plan, and where you are not going to be able to go and move from point A to point B at the same amount of speed outside coming to work. So plan for it. And as well as be on the lookout for those pools of water or those housekeeping where there's possibly leaks or people dragging in that snow that's going to melt. We have to be aware of it, clean it up, keep that area clear, and I think we're all going to be moving into 2026 with a smile on our face because we'll be prepared, happy, and we won't have things jumping up and getting us.
There you go. And then I think spring will be the last season that you haven't done yet, and so for sure we'll have another Jason appearance at that
We'll
point.
be ready for it.
All right, for sure. Preparedness is key.
Yeah, thanks, Jason.
Yeah. So rolling into our next segment, which is going to be What's Up With That, another rendition of that. I have a little bit of a lead into it, knowing what the first, so I've got my little cheat sheet here, is what the first 2 subjects are going to be. So the timing of this recording corresponds pretty well to our upcoming PTO rollover and cash out exercise. A reminder to everybody, although this date might be too late for the recording, all remaining requests need to be entered into UKG, all remaining 2025 requests by November 21st, which I believe is this coming Friday. That will allow for us to distribute the PTO balance forms from which employees select how much of their remaining balance they want to roll over or cash out by November 28th. We'll get those forms out by that date. We need those back by December 5th so that we can get everything processed in time for the scheduled payout on December 18th. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into a little bit of what's up with that.
All right. So, Bob, PTO rollovers. What happens if we still have hours left and it's the end of the year?
Well, there you go. Actually, so one thing I will point out when answering this is if you have hours that you rolled over from the previous year, that is the one type of PTO that is totally use it or lose it. So if you're somebody that doesn't use much of your PTO, whether it's vacation, PPT, personal floating holiday, and you rolled some over from last year, I highly encourage you to schedule and use that carried over vacation so that you don't lose it. Outside of that particular circumstance, you are able to roll over up to 40 hours of time into the next year, and you can cash out half of your starting year balance up to a maximum of 80 hours.
And so you kind of mentioned the payout that'll be taking December taking place December 18th, right?
Yes, it's going to be an off-schedule payroll. So the December 11th will be a typical bi-weekly payroll, and then the 18th, where there normally would have not been a check, will just be a single payment of any of the cash outs.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, I should also mention on the personal pay time, commonly referred to as PPT, that's not a use it or lose it, but it only allows cash out of PPT. So vacation can be rolled over up to 40 hours, cashed out up to 80. PPT, you can cash out your entire balance if you didn't use it, but you can't roll any over. And the personal floating holiday, I always encourage everybody to use that as their first for the year.
Absolutely.
Then we have our clothing, safety shoes, and safety glasses that we offer benefits to employees. What happens to each of those at the end of the year?
Yeah, so on the clothing and safety shoe end, those two allowances are combined in the annual $200 clothing and safety shoe allowance that every employee receives. Any unused funds for clothing and safety shoes rolls over from year to year unless somebody accumulates a credit balance of $1,000. At that point, we would cut off their rollovers until they went out and got some stuff. They could probably get a pretty darn nice pair of safety-toed shoes and some nice Procon swag if they ever get to that level, for sure. On the safety glasses end, that is just an annual allowance. So that does not roll over. It's a $200 reimbursement allowance for 2025. In 2026, we're actually entering into an agreement with a vendor called Bridgemart. They partner up with Walmart Vision Centers, and any employee that needs prescription safety glasses in 2026 will be able to get it's an electronic gift card that goes to their email. They're usable at every Walmart Vision Center. They're good for up to $200. Unused funds just get reimbursed back to Procon, so they don't go to waste. They can only be used on the safety glasses. Can't use them on, that balance, go in and get some groceries,
Right.
with whatever's left from that. I think that covers all three of those.
I think that's great. Thanks, Bob.
You're welcome.
All right. We have a note about holiday pay reminders. Which days are company holidays and expectations of working and how that all plays out.
Yeah. So as far as formally recognized company holidays upcoming, Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. Those will be the three in 2025, and of course you can include New Year's Day of 2026, but that's technically the first holiday of 2026. I will say whether or not a department, machine, or location works on a holiday is always dependent upon business need and volume. Some locations historically run more than others just based on their history, specifically when we look at some of the acquired facilities that we've had in the past and how they ran. So it's always a case by case, location by location, department by department decision, and it's typically a few days beforehand that we can formally make that announcement just because of the short-term nature of our business. But
True.
With that being said, every full-time employee receives their holiday pay paid at 8 hours regardless of how long their scheduled shift is for, just for consistency's sake. You do have to work the fully scheduled shift prior to and after that holiday to receive that holiday pay. And if you scheduled vacation before or after that holiday, that's fine, but then your last scheduled day before that vacation or first scheduled day after is now your last and first before and after the holiday.
Correct.
So you might call in, if you called in before a vacation day that's for a holiday, you get paid vacation, but you won't receive that holiday. Trying to think if there's any other particular things. Oh, of course, if you do work on a holiday, you not only receive that 8-hour holiday pay, but you'll also receive double time pay for those hours worked. We can decide whether or not it would need to be edited, but I do know there was some discussion in a corporate leadership meeting yesterday where some locations that have enough volume to do so, we may look for volunteers before mandating if needed for Thanksgiving Day.
Sounds good. All right, so next up, this one first pertains just to Appleton, but our 30, 60, 90-day reviews and our orange shirts. Some people are like, I thought we went away from the high visibility orange shirts.
Yes.
Now I'm seeing them again. What's up with that?
Yeah, no, that's a perfect what's up with that. We want to be able to ensure not only that new employees that are coming on board are safe and identified as high risk, because they are. They're high risk inherently when you're new to any area or job. But we also want for individuals to be able to know that, if somebody's coming to ask you a question that has an orange shirt on, they're brand new. They're learning what's going on. It kind of helps how you're going to address those things, right? It helps.
They don't know what they don't know.
Right. You might see them performing a task that's just not the way that ProCon performs that task. And whether or not they have an orange shirt on helps you know how to address that, or whether or not maybe get a supervisor involved. To your point, that is Appleton specific right now. So in Appleton, we've got a particular color shirt for our production staff versus material handlers versus supervisors. Those colors will vary across locations as we roll this out to all of the other divisions. But one thing that will not change, regardless of those shirt colors, is that all new employees for their first 90 days will be limited to being able to wear orange shirts so that we can identify them as new hires.
I like seeing it too as someone from the office and walking out there and knowing like, I should introduce myself to this person.
Absolutely. That's
just
another great point.
Getting to know our new hires as well is important. So,
Right.
All right, last in our What's Up With That, we have some New Year's tips, and they're mostly related to HR. Bob, do you have any thoughts on
Yeah, the new year is a great time to Jason's point. Make sure that you're prepared for things. Tax season will be running, coming up right around the corner, so never a bad time to check on your. This is so embarrassing as HR director. I always confuse my W-2 and W-4s. I'll probably say the wrong one, but to update your
tax forms?
W-2, yeah, update your tax forms. The W and then a number. Contact information, a lot of times employees might move or get a new phone, tell a coworker, and then assume that because they told the coworker, the company's magically going to know that information. Right. If you've moved or changed your phone number in the last 12 months, coming up on year end is a great time to just ask for, I got a Motivosity plug here. You can ask your HR representative for a change of personal information form, but you can also access it in the resources portion of the HR space in Motivosity. Looking at some of my other notes here, we did just go through benefits open enrollment, but it's always important, not only then, but at any time in the year, go into UKG, look at your benefits, select the life insurance or any of the other supplemental benefits that you might have elected, and check on your beneficiaries. You might have overlooked the percentages that you were giving to different individuals when you were doing open enrollment. Never hurts to go in and do a second check.
Emergency contacts as well.
Emergency contacts, another great one, absolutely, and which is included on that personal information form. So that's a really good form. I'm going to plug it again to look up in the resources section of the HR space on Motivosity. Take a look and see if anything's changed since the last time. And lastly, just some things that reset at the top of the year. Probably our most popular non-medical, dental, vision-related benefit is our annual $200 gym and fitness reimbursement. Folks use that to pay for a portion of or full gym memberships. I know I've used it on various at-home things like Beachbody videos and Peloton bike subscriptions and things of that nature. There is a pre-approved list that, again, you can find in the resources section of the HR space on Motivosity, but purchases aren't limited to that list. So if you have something that you have in mind, I know we have a martial artist, I won't say location so I can keep some confidentiality, but they have reached out to me and asked, hey, can I get a punching bag instead of weights? Absolutely, that makes perfect sense for the context. So I don't add things to the pre-approved list as I approve them all. So if it's not on there, reach on out to me or your local HR rep and we'll get you an answer.
Going back to a previous episode when we had Associated Bank on, they say the new year is a good time to up your investment.
Oh yeah, your percentages.
Yep.
And that's Yes, I think they give a couple different times a year. I think it was like
did.
at the start of, like, almost on a quarterly basis.
Yeah, until you get to that goal of, I think it was 12%, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can do that on Associated Bank on their website.
Yep. Encouraged to do it on their website, as a matter of fact. All right. Should we take it to the bonus section here?
Yeah, I think
Another
so.
plug, another Motivosity plug here.
Yes.
So we have announced that we're going to be doing a ProCon cookie book. So we're looking for team members to submit their best and favorite recipes for cookies. And you can email that to myself or thepulp at proconusa.com to get your cookie recipe entered. If you have a picture of it, that's great. If not, no worries. But I do need submissions by December 10th so that I have a few days to get that together. And then I'll put it out in a book that can be downloaded in the cookbook space in Motivosity on December 15th. So you can make your holiday cookies.
Absolutely. I think each site should elect a baker that makes every cookie in the book for some taste testing.
Get that taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely.
Planning, ladies and gentlemen, planning.
Yeah. And I will also, just as a little bit of a preview, we hope this will be the first of any number of ProCon related cookbooks that we can do for different seasons, get some grill tips in the summertime, and pies for Thanksgiving.
Even some of those
Almost
hunter
all
specials.
Yeah.
From deer season and such,
Yeah.
how to cook up some of them venison stews, some steaks, and different things, the trout.
I know he won't mind the plug. I was just enjoying some of Chad Spearing's venison sticks yesterday.
Yes.
They lasted about 10 minutes from the time he handed them to me.
Yes, they are outstanding.
All right. Well, with all that, I think that's just about a wrap. So want to thank Jason for coming to join us again. You're always one of our favorite guests. Love having you on.
Oh,
Definitely
thank
see
you.
you again in the spring.
Definitely.
Those winter tips were excellent. I'm sure everybody can benefit from those. If you have any HR-related questions related to the things we talked about today for PTO rollover and cash out, benefit updates or contact and updates, at any time, always reach out to your local HR representative or myself. Our next episode is going to be a year-end wrap-up. It's going to feature Dan and Martin. We're going to recap some of the happenings of 2025 and share some goals for 2026. It's going to be a great episode that you won't want to miss. So until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and keep making ProCon great.
Sounds good. Thank you.